let's do this. Amen.
Amen.
So we're going to be teaching. So the topic that we're going to be looking at is the wisest investment you will ever make. The wisest investment you will ever make. And the subtitle to this title is Mentoring Future Leaders. Mentoring future leaders, that's the wisest investment anyone could ever make. That's the wisest investment anyone will ever make. Mentoring future leaders. When we look in the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 14, the Bible reads and it tells us, then he appointed 12 that they might be with him and that he might send them out to preach. Amen. This was Jesus. Jesus appointed 12. And the 12 that he appointed that they be with him and that he may send them out to preach. The reason why they were with him, he was mentoring them for leadership. Amen. The 12 he was mentoring them for leadership. And to be honest, Jesus is the ultimate mentor. If there's any mentor, guess who's the ultimate? Jesus is the ultimate mentor. Amen. Jesus is the ultimate mentor. And guess what he did? He developed imperfect humans to become effective leaders. I mean, is it true that the 12 disciples were effective leaders? Is it true? Yes. It is true. Amen. The fact that we are here today and we are Christians is evidence of how effective the 12 disciples Jesus had are. Amen. They were quite effective. So in other words, we need to follow the example of Jesus. Amen. Jesus is a perfect example, and we need to follow that example. We need to follow the example of Jesus. There's this saying from Jesus. Maybe if we can read from Matthew 11, verse 28 to 30. You raise your hand. We pick you up, raise your name down, and you get a point. So who's going to read for us? So for those who have modules, it could be quicker because it's already there in the module. Matthew 11, verse 28 to 8.
He says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke fits perfectly, and the burden I give you is light.
Wonderful. I'm sure for those who have been Kumusha, they know exactly what a yoke is, isn't it? But there's this oxen, and according to this, explanation of what a yoke really does, is that you place a yoke on an oxen that is stronger and an oxen that is a bit weaker, and the one that is stronger is probably carrying most of the weight. And in this particular instance, because Jesus Christ is saying, my yoke, which simply means he must be the strong one, and we are the weak ones. And we have him pushing together with us. Amen. That's exactly what he did with the disciples. He was the strong one, and they were the weak ones. And guess what he did? He pushed together with them, right? Till they became strong. Amen. Till they became strong. And that's what good mentors do. They push together with their people till their people are strong enough to push for themselves. Amen. Right? Do I have people of God in the house?
Amen.
Am I all by myself in this building today?
Yes.
Okay. It's always wonderful to get reaction. You see, we're Africans. You see, we're not white people. Okay. So we're going to look at a definition of mentoring. You see, mentoring is a relational experience where one person empowers another by sharing God-given resources. Amen. One person empowers another by sharing God-given resources. That's what mentoring is. And and you know, I was just thinking about this, and I was just giving an example. I was just giving myself an example. And one of the examples that will come pretty much easily is the example of that of Apostle Petunia Chirisere, her pastors and her ministers. Amen. That's an example right there, where she is mentoring these people to greatness. One of the others, she is not trying to be a superhero in this thing. Amen. She doesn't have what they call the superhero complex, where you're the macho man, where you are the big guy, and you're the one at the top, and no one knows anything. Amen. But where you begin to empower people to do exactly the very same things you do, and even better. Amen. Where you don't, like, one of the things we touched on yesterday was, you know, security or sabotage. Well, you don't have to sabotage somebody because, you know, because maybe they can do a job better than you, or they're better equipped better than you are, you know. Well, you don't have to sabotage anyone because you're afraid, you're insecure. That if I allow them to, you know, to do this work, they might do it even better than me, you know. Well, you're not insecure in yourself. You know, like, it was probably addressed as inward poverty. Amen. You see, a person who's insecure, they are poor inside. You know, they can't allow other people to progress or do anything of significance. You see, they want to self-fund everything to themselves and then won't develop anyone of significance. Amen. So obviously, Apostle Petunia Chirisere is a good example of someone who is mentoring people. Amen. To greatness. And Apostle Charles is evidence. You can probably look at us today. You can say, oh wow, these are the fruits of Apostle Charles. He was mentoring people to greatness. So another definition. This is a definition on empowerment. The act of giving your power to another so that they can serve effectively. Amen. Giving someone else your power so that they can what? They can serve effectively. Amen and amen and amen. Relinquishing power. Do we want to give people power? Is there anybody who wants to give people power? See, as Africans, we don't want to give power, to be honest. You know, we want all the power to ourselves. But that's not effective. And that's not sustainable. Amen. If you keep all the power to yourself, you might end up getting kicked out by someone else who also wants power. Amen. So be able to relinquish power and give people power such that they may be able to serve effectively. So obviously I'm here today because I've been given power that I may be able to what? To act effectively. So right now we're going to look at leadership and commitment. We must be committed to be, we must be committed to a person. Somebody write the word person in that blank space for those who have noticed. So I'm going to ask someone to read for us, and I'm going to highlight a few things as they read. Number one there, we must be committed to a person, right? So read below, and I'm going to highlight. Someone who's going to read for us, who's going to get a point. The first point went to Mr. Chifamba. I'd like to believe you wrote that down. Wonderful. So who's going to read for us for a point? Oh, another Chifamba is reading for us. That's Ruben Chifamba.
Our mentees must sense our commitment to them as people, not a project. We must love them and have their best interests in mind. Leaders cannot be developed in massive crowds. They are developed individually through life mentoring.
Wonderful. They should not be a project. Amen. You must be committed to a person, and the person should not be a project. Amen. And then, you know, we stand up here every Sunday, isn't it? And we make an announcement. We say, on Mondays we do home visits. Amen. And there you are, when you visit people, it's a project. It's a church project. That's what we do. We visit people at church. In other words, you don't necessarily have love for these people, but it's a thing that you do as a ritual. Amen. People should not be projects. In other words, you should do it from a place of what? of love. When you are mentoring someone, when you're developing someone, you do it not necessarily as an obligation, as something you're obliged to do, but you do it as an act of love. Amen. A person is not a project. You need to have genuine interest in people. Amen. Genuine interest. Genuine interest. When you want to see people developed. Amen. To be honest, there's nothing that is as beautiful as seeing the people that you led to Jesus arise and begin to do exactly the very same thing that you were doing to them, to someone else. Amen. Well, trust me, there's nothing that will be as rewarding for me as seeing the people that I've led to Jesus do exactly the very same thing that I do. Amen. Now, I know it's pretty much easy to mistake someone who shares the gospel for a pastor. It's pretty much easy. But where people get to understand that this is not necessarily a responsibility of a pastor or the responsibility of a bishop, but it's actually the responsibility of every individual. Amen. The fruit of a believer is another believer. Praise God, amen. So people need to be loved and you need to show genuine love. Amen. And right there told us that when you are mentoring people, it's not a thing that you do as a crowd. You can't mentor people in a crowd, you know. It needs to be a personal thing, you know, personal relationship. So you need to be committed to a person. Maybe right now as you're sitting in here, you need to start thinking of a person to whom you would be committed to. Look at someone, identify potential, and be committed to developing that particular individual to becoming a person that you see them to be in God. Amen. Seeing people from God's perspective. And then the other thing is we must be committed. Moji.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chwamba. I think you should get a point for that, isn't it? Give Mr. Chwamba a point for being considerate.
Oh, she needs a point.
Oh, okay, let's give Sister Edna a point. Okay, that's wonderful. So right now we're going to look at we must be committed to a process. Who's going to read for us for a point? Who's going to read for us? No, I can't have the same person reading over and over again. I need everyone to participate. Let's have another Chifamba girl. Her. Don't you guys have a moment?
Yeah.
Read.
There will be ups and downs through the season you meet with your humanity. We must step back and see the process they are in and the steps required for growth. Understanding the big picture of their life, we must be discerning. What steps should you take to train them?
Okay, thank you so much for also reading that question. Okay, wonderful. You must be committed to the process. There are ups and downs. Amen. There are ups and downs, but you gotta be committed. You have to be what? Committed. And at the same time, it's very clear here, you need to be discerning. Which also means that you also need to have an idea of the grand picture. Have an idea of the bigger picture. Amen. And then, on what steps we should take, for those with modules, you should write. I don't know whether I should ask you guys to tell me what steps we should take. Should we go through that because of time, or let's pass it because of time? Okay, it's fine. So right now we are looking at you must be committed to purpose. Somebody say, okay, write. Don't say write in your book. You must be committed to purpose. So right now I'm going to have someone else to read. And that's Sister Alice. Sister Alice is going to read.
Our final commitment must be to the end result. We must determine that we will help them get from where they are to the goal that has been mutually set. Just as God will complete the work He has begun in us, according to Philippians chapter 1 verse 6, we must see the finished product inside our mentees and fulfill our commitment to them. We must be diligent.
Amen. You must be able to see the end result. Amen. Be able to see the end result. Be able to see the end result. In other words, refuse to see people in the flesh. Refuse to see people in the flesh. Refuse to see people in the flesh. But begin to see them in the spirit. Amen. In other words, ask God to open your eyes of understanding that you may be able to see people the way God sees them. Amen. Begin to see people the way God sees them. See the end from the beginning. See, the Bible tells us that God is the Alpha and the Omega and everything in between, obviously. Being able to see things from God's perspective. Like we see this man and he looks like, this is what Apostle Charles used to say. Like people come into this church looking like the back of the bus. Not just in a bus, a chicken bus. Looking like the back of a chicken bus. That is how bad folks would actually look when they come in. And to be honest, I definitely looked like the back of a chicken bus when I walked into this church. Amen. I looked like the back of a chicken bus. She remembers I look like the back of a chicken bus. But you can't look at me today and think that I probably ever looked like the back of a chicken bus. This is not testimony time, but I think it's also good to teach with examples. Amen.
You are not the friend of your back.
I'm better now. I look like a private jet. So yeah, that's just how terrible people. That's just how you should see people. Don't see the back of a chicken bus when you look at people. Amen. That's what they presented to you, but choose to see that which God has said concerning them. Amen. Choose to see the things that God has said concerning them, and then capitalize on these things. Focus on those things, and definitely people will be developed. So right now, let's have someone read John 15, verse 15, and I'm sure. Okay, Matthew 28, verse 18 to 20 as well.
John 15:15. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what the master is doing, but I have called you friends, for all things that I had from my Father I have made known to you. And then Matthew 28:18 to 20.
Yeah, okay, just capitalize.
And Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptize them in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even